Okay, I'm ready. Sorry. Jay, are you here? Love you. Well, you're going to be in it. You're in it right now. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I we are having a figured out Friday moment. We are having a figured out Friday moment because I don't know. Jay, are you on here, Jay? Because you might have to take over the host because approving things, omit all. So somehow I became a host, Chet. I became the host, and you know what happens when I'm the host? It's not good. It is not good when I'm the host.
I'm sure you can make it up.
Yeah, I am I'm just a minute all and waiting for Jay. I think she's taking over. I don't know if she's taking over. If she's not, we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll have the intro music going on this morning. I don't know, but we will see. I think she might have taken over. Jay, if you can do there we go. We're gonna start it fresh here. Start it fresh, Jay.
Yeah. Since 2019, we've been building mindset and purpose for real estate agents, entrepreneurs, leaders, people becoming more than they were yesterday. Monday through Friday, we rise. We win the morning, we win the mind. Faith over fear, pressure into purpose, confidence built through the work. Something good is gonna happen to me. Something good is gonna happen to me. I don't need all the answers, I just need belief. Becoming who I'm called to be, making impact bigger than me. God first, doubt steps back. When it gets heavy, we figure it out. You're not here by accident, you're part of the story. Stepping strong, stepping faith. Let's get your mindset right.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Chat, you were so right. You knew we'd get it together. We knew we'd get it together. Put TGIF in the chat. Put TGIF in the chat. I was talking to one Wendie. Then we got Wendie today. Wendie's getting ready to, there's unfortunately a funeral. And I was telling her in the back here, I was like, you can sit there, but you're gonna be in the view that we got going on here. So she was getting herself together. Then I guess I kept a Zoom open from yesterday's coaching that I never shut down. So we couldn't get into Zoom. So Jay's like texted me. She's like, sir, what's going on? Sir, are you in a Zoom already? I'm like, no, I'm not. So we figured it out. We figured it out. So good morning, everybody. Good morning to you all. Say TJ, put good morning in the chat. We always love our Fridays. It's a beautiful Friday. I was telling Wendy this morning that it feels like the beach this morning when I was on my walk with the dogs. It was just it's really nice. Didn't need a sweatshirt. I didn't feel like it was extremely humid. It was just really, really nice to be able to kind of get that summer feel. Can you believe June 1st all in literally a couple days? Yesterday, I got to spend my parents' 49th wedding anniversary. Amanda celebrated her 11th anniversary, so I didn't know that. Anybody else celebrating an anniversary yesterday? Happy anniversary. And then my mom celebrates her birthday on June 1st. So a lot of celebration over here. So, good morning, everybody. My name is Coach Brock Zevan, life coach, business coach, real estate coach, a DAD. It is a DAD weekend for me, so I'm excited. I've had the kids back to back to back weekends, 3 weekends in a row, but I'm ready for it. I'm excited. As long as my head doesn't hurt, I'm okay. So, got that going for me. Don't recommend anybody getting hit in the head with a golf ball this weekend. If you're planning on going out, try to keep the golf balls in the fairway. Those on the head, not so good. But today's special guest is another Wendy, spelled with the I-E. And Wendy and I, we kind of like knew each other online, and then she was getting ready to sell her house. And guys, I just want to let you know, I don't always win. I don't always win. She picked another real estate agent. And here's the important thing why I say that. You never burn any bridges. I wasn't upset. I wasn't pissed. I was just like, I wanted to know how to win. I always want to win. But at the same token, I was just like, I really like her. I really like her as a person. I like what she does. She moved to the beach. We still kept conversations with each other. And I was like, I need you to have you on the show. I love to have you on the show. So the key ingredient in all is you just never know. So don't get pissed off. Don't get a bad. I wasn't at all. And I'm just so appreciative that we kept a great relationship open. So I'm very, very happy to have her on the show here this morning. I believe we got some of her family on here too. We always love when family come on here. So hi, family. Welcome, welcome. Love to have your mom here. So, guys, you know what time it is. Put some fires in the chat. Put some fives in the chat. Put some hearts in the chat for those of you who know how to do those emojis. And I want to welcome Miss Wendy to the morning show this morning on Figured Out Friday. Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning, Brock. Thank you for having me on.
Well, it's always you can always tell when somebody's used to Zoom and really like knows her way around the computer and speaks often because immediately when I see them still on mute, I'm like, oh, they're gonna forget they're on mute. And she's like, nope, I got it. I know exactly what I'm doing. So,
I don't know,
Wendy,
I'd
thank you.
say I know my way around a computer though.
Well, for those that don't know you, give us the 10,000 foot overview of you, who you are, a little bit about you, so our audience gets to know you this morning before we dive into some of your figured out moments.
Okay, well, just high level overview. I am a licensed mental health counselor. I've been over 25 years now doing that. I am also a transformational life coach, author, and probably my most proud title, if you will, is being a mom.
It is an amazing title. Happy belated Mother's Day as we end our May season of mothers. So thankful and happy to have you on here. It's funny you say the mental health side of things. Put a 10 in the chat if you or somebody you know goes through some sort of mental health. Put a 10 in the chat if you or know somebody that's going through some mental health, been through mental health. Um, we actually, Cullen, who was speaking on Wednesday, talked about mental health, talked about how it's such a soft spoken, silent thing, but it's pretty much prevalent all around us all the time. And people hide it. They're scared. They're embarrassed about that. So hats off to you for helping people, especially in the mental health field, because it is truly, I feel, something that just is not talked about enough out there. And so thank you, thank you. How did you get into that, to be honest, just to start off some questions for you? Like how did you, like, I'm sure you didn't wake up one day but like, you know what, today's mental health day and I'm just going to get this. Like how did that start for you?
Well, started years ago, actually back in high school when I was talking to the counselor about college and all that. And I said, I think I want to major in psychology. And he said, no, you don't. That's, you can't make a living at it. It's not a good field. Don't go that path. Don't go that route. So, of course I go the other route, the business route. And uh, so got the business degree, minor marketing, all that. Fast forward, get married, have my first child, and just talking. And it's like, this something I've always wanted to do is always there, right? I really want to help people. That's always brought me joy to be, I was always the listener. I was always the one friends would come to for advice and things like that. So, yeah, so I ended up going through my master's. My youngest was born, as he said, at one point he's like, you've been in school my whole life, Mom. So, so I did got my master's, and that was in California. We moved to North Carolina, and I opened up Lake Norman Counseling Service, and the rest is history with as far as that goes.
You know what I always find fascinating? If you guys were leaning into her story, we share people. I always love it. Like how many times I've heard somebody say, "You don't want to go into that field. There's not enough money there. That's not the where you need to be. You need to be over here." I remember just even my parents like telling them a little bit about what I wanted to do. And I don't know. I can't remember what the other option was, but I was like, my parents were like, no, you need to get more of a serious job. So I went to college to be a radiologist. I lasted 1 week that semester, and I was like, this isn't for me, Mom. But it's funny how people already try to pigeonhole us on what it is that we're supposed to do. Yet, if you have a dream, God will make sure that it still stays to your front surface because it might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, and it was several years later until you kept going back to it. And some of us fight it our entire life. Like I hate my job. Most W-2s do. That's what they're like, but I have no choice because this is what I'm supposed to, my retirement, my benefits, blah, blah, blah. But you live a miserable life. God says no. Go into your purpose, go into your passion, and that's awesome that you did that, that you continue to help people and lean into what you really love to do. Now, one of the things I want to shift into, Wendy, is, you know, going into a figured out moment. Where was a point in your life where, you know, you went through some transitions, you went through some changes in your life as well. And, share with us one of those figured out moments, one of those defining moments in your life where you had to figure it out for some of our people on here with their listening ears.
Yeah, Brock, I was been thinking about that because I think for me, and as for I'm sure everybody here, there's not necessarily one pivotal moment. There's not one defining moment per se. I think there's several when I look back on my life, and I could go through my timeline of events, but I think a big message that I've received and it's reinforced, is, we don't know what life's going to hand us, right? So we never know when it's our time. And I think following our passion is so, so important. And that, so for me, one defining moment was going through a divorce after 20 years of marriage and stuff. And you go through that process. And I think, as many people do, you start to kind of look at yourself, right? You go, wait a minute, where have I been? Where am I at? What am I going through? And at that time, my kids were leaving the nest. I was, in my early 40s. So it's like I was at a key transitional moment of just life in general, that we go through. And doing the mental health, very rewarding, very fulfilling. But I was really feeling kind of stuck, kind of stagnant. And it's like, okay, now it's just me. I got to, figure this out. How do I support myself? How do I grow? So I started looking into the coaching industry, and I was presented a program. It's called the College of Executive Coaching, and it's specifically a program designed for those in the mental health field that want to either transition or add coaching. At the time, it was very controversial that if you were a licensed mental health professional of any sort, coaching was kind of the enemy, right? You don't,
Hmm.
you know, they didn't merge, and there's a lot of reasons for that, um, but I really felt again drawn to that. So I went through that program, and what that meant for me is now I'm going to start a second business, a coaching business, and I have to start networking.
And how
And
old are you at this time period?
what's that?
How
How,
old are you during?
how,
Oh, yeah.
how
How old
old
are you?
was I?
Yeah.
I was in my early mid 40s at that point, by that point.
So the reason why I asked that question, how many of you feel stuck? Put a me in the chat if you felt stuck recently, you feel stuck right now. Drop a me in the chat because I think that's just such a pivotal moment where sometimes stuck's in two different themes. Stuck being like I can't move, and stuck meaning I'm spinning my tires going over and over and over again, but I can't get out of it. And so I always ask people, like, are you stuck that you can't move, or are you stuck that you're spinning your wheels? Because many of us feel that. And then at the second point, you're at a point of your season of your life where I'm resonating with you because I'm like, man, what the hell am I doing? I'm in my 40s. Like, am I doing the right thing? Like, is it too late for me to pivot and change? And here you are going through that. And somebody here on this show today could be going through that or just recently made this career changing move. And you're like, did I make the right move? What the hell was I thinking? So I
Mm.
just like that really resonated with me when you said that.
Oh, come on.
How did that process go with you when you were going through that? I'm sure it wasn't just an overnight thing, Wendy. Like, I mean, did it take a year, 2 years, 3 years? Like, what was that process like during this transition?
It's still going. I'm still trying to figure it all out, right? Yeah, it definitely was because it was a process of healing, right? Which in my counts in the mental health, I really focus a lot on grief and trauma, which everyone here has experienced at some point in time in their life to some varying degree. So it's healing from that, move and learning to move forward. So kind of shedding those, the past and moving forward. So it was I can't put a label on it. In all seriousness, I'm still transforming, right? We still adapt and I always say, if you're not growing, you're not living, right? You got to always
Mhm.
keep growing and challenging yourself and pushing yourself. So it's an ongoing process, but going through that, my passion was, still is, helping women in that phase, in the transitional phase, whether it's midlife, empty nest, change a career, any of those things. And through that journey, I learned a lot and I met a lot of people and probably grown the most through that period of time than ever in my life. And, you start a business. I did not grow up in an entrepreneurial family. I grew up in mom was home, dad went to work, that type of thing. And so, didn't grow up in that environment. So had to shift into that environment and network. With my counseling, I was very fortunate. I connected with schools and physicians, and it was strictly referral based, and it was thriving. Now, coaching, I have to go network. I have to get my name out there. I have to meet people. I have to, shake hands and started networking, met some amazing people. Some are very, very dear friends of mine to this day. And then, you got to have your niche, you got to have your thing. Decided to write a book, went down that path, wrote a
What's the
book,
name of your book?
The Mindset Makeover,
The
Living Your
Mindset
Life
Make.
with Clarity and Purpose. Yes. So,
Do we have that, Jay or Rika? If we could put that in the
yeah, I
chat,
have that. I'll show you. I have it.
there you, I love it. We'll make sure we get that in the link too for those that. When did you write that book?
So that process was back in 2017. And that was probably another pivotal moment for me because again, something new, challenge. Went down to Florida where the publisher lived at the time, met an amazing group of people there, was connected with some phenomenal people. Kind of, I always say it was literally the Tony Robbins crew of people that spoke, that worked with him. And so learned a whole different aspect, whole different perspective, right, from the mental health field. And again, connected with some very amazing people, but also some eye-opening, right? Some eye-opening that there's people out there that, aren't who they project to be.
Hmm.
And that really caused me to, again, go internal and say, am I being authentic? Am I showing up, my authentic self to other people? So that was another growth moment, another pivotal moment, doing a lot of work with that. And again, I learned and I grew a lot through that process. So as I said, it's ongoing and it's meeting the people. And I know, Brock, you said in the very beginning, never, never burn a bridge because you never
Hmm.
know, right, where things are going to lead, what's going to happen, what God's plan is for us. There's a reason people cross our path. There's a reason people are in our life. So for me, throughout all these pivotal moments, a big takeaway is, be careful who you interact with,
Mm.
but yet don't burn bridges, right? Surround yourself with the people that inspire you, the people that push you to be who you want to be. Um,
Being in the right rooms, like you said, is so, so very important. Um, and what I took my I got a question for everybody on here because yesterday everybody put their phone numbers in here. I want people to put in the numbers how many people you engaged with yesterday. Okay. From those of you that were on the show yesterday, write down how many numbers you took, how many text messages or phone calls. Because Wendy, you said it perfectly. It's networking. It's engaging. One, two, two, two. Good. So yesterday, Wendy, I think what you said is so, so very important. Like this group here, surround yourself. There's a lot of amazing people in this group. And I tell them all the time, screenshot, find somebody on here, go look them up on Facebook, go look them up on Instagram, have a conversation with them. And 17, wow, 24, 14 responded. Look at this. And so their challenge yesterday is everybody had to put their phone number on the in the chat on who they were going to engage with because you never know who's in these rooms. There's new people on here all the time. I don't know, I try to reach out to new people all the time or have conversations, but there's just so many opportunities
mhm.
that are here. And one of the things that I also like what you said here, besides the networking, was I too grew up in a W-2 lifestyle with my family. Like when I told my parents that I was leaving teaching and I was going to go into 100% sales job, and I don't know when my next paycheck's going to be. They looked at me like I just stole something or like I was in big trouble. And because we're used to our upbringing, I always say to people like in Christmas time, when you get married or like when you're with your significant other and you celebrate Christmas, it's just like you're only used to the way that you were brought up. Like, what do you mean? You don't show the gifts or you put the gifts or you have stockings, you don't have stock. Like there's why is because those are your upbringing experiences that you bring to today to make today's decisions. And you think like, when I just thought everybody had snow. Then I found out Florida never gets snow. I was like, well, how does Santa get out there? Like, that doesn't make sense because you're exposed to it.
Mhm.
Where, Wendy, would you say, like, when you're being exposed, what's the greatest thing that, how do I want to say it? Like, was there an event? Maybe it was your book writing. Maybe it's people that some other places that you've been to but when you're being exposed to this, what are some things that people could take away from that? Or like, what do you do to gain exposure? Are you like giving out cards? You just having conversations? Like, what is that? So somebody here today that might be thinking about going to an event or going someplace, what is that exposure really blossoming for you?
Well, I think it's a lot of different things. Number one, keeping in the forefront of your mind, you're building relationships. So I
Mhm.
think for me, when I first started networking, it's like, okay, I'm going to walk into this group of people and, hand out cards and they're going to start sending people to me, right?
Right, right. Yeah.
Like it's magic. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not. It's building relationships. It's understanding it's going to take time. So I think many different ways of networking. I think this,
Hmm.
exactly, right? Reaching out, connecting with people, going to events, being in the forefront, being present is really, really important.
Drives me crazy when people are on their cell phones the entire time. They go on like there's break or lunch and they're racing on their cell phones. I'm like, this is the best time to network and reach out to people.
Oh, 100%. Have a conversation with somebody standing in line at the grocery store. You just, it's all forms. It's not just structured. It's just how you live your life, right? How you engage and how you interact with just people in general, is very, very important. Again, putting yourself out there and pushing yourself. I did some speaking pre-COVID and I'd like to get back into it. And I find it's funny because I find myself going through what I did then, like a little bit of hesitation, who's gonna, want my message? Who's, right? That
The
type of
imposter
thing.
syndrome.
It is, and it's real, and it it comes and goes.
Yep.
So it's just finding ways to get yourself out there to interact, to have the conversations with people. As realtors, you guys, I mean, I know you work 24/7 as it is, but everybody you meet is a potential client, right?
Hmm.
So you never know. And I think I've learned a lot from, to be honest with you, my two boys and my daughter-in-law, they're entrepreneurs. Their hearts are that. They both have, they all have kind of their own business and thing going. And watching them and what they do is, it's the relationships. It's all about relationships. And so, yeah, you just get
So
yourself out
true.
there.
We talk about relationships all the time. Jim Morris, one of our speakers and leaders on here, talks about building relationships. I was chuckling when you said like you give out your business card. I remember, I mean, I'm a freaking school teacher for crying out loud. All of a sudden I go into the business world. I don't know a freaking single thing. I have no business degree. I have no business schooling. I have nothing. I'm just like a PE teacher blowing my whistle. Maybe I got some administration in my back pocket, but outside of that, I'm just like, I was like, look, I remember looking at all my business cards. Oh my goodness, look at all these business cards. I'm just going to give these away. And all of a sudden, business is going to happen. And I was like giving them out. Nothing. I was like, wait a minute. I thought this, like, you give this out and then they're going to call you with something. Nope. That doesn't really happen. But it's building that relationship and it does take time and it
Mm.
does take nurturing in doing that. Um, I can't believe it's already this time. Let me ask you this question as we get ready to close out and promote your book. And we did put it in the link. Somebody did ask too, do you have it on Audible?
It is not on Audible.
Mm.
That's one thing. I'm working on a second one and that one. So
Yeah, it's funny how many people ask for Audible. I've been thinking about doing Audible for my book as well. Um, so besides figuring out the Audible that we both have to do, talk to me about the one thing. What's the one thing you'd like to leave us with here today as we embrace on this last weekend of May?
just embrace each day. My thing with people is I tell them when you wake up in the morning, think of three things you're grateful for. Don't go right to the to-do list. Really have gratitude. I mean, really, and embracing that, it'll change your perspective. It will change how you interact with other people. Just really focus what's good. What can I do today to make a difference? Right? We
Mm.
never know when our card is going to be called, when God's like, okay, that's it. So make the most of each day. I'm going to read it because I found it online. I actually posted it on my story, but it says, be grateful for every sunset, thankful for every sunrise, because every day is a blessing. And
Mm.
it's true. It's follow your heart, follow your passion. Life's too short to just be stuck and feel like, you know, I'm just going through the motions. Engage in it. Engage in each moment as best as you can and be grateful for that. Be grateful for each moment.
I love that. I love that. If you can put that in, you can either send it to me or get you to put it in our Mindset Motivational Facebook page. Because I love stuff like that. I think it's so important. I say this not to put attention on my stupid head, but you know, I think every person that I've shared about my golf ball has said, "You're lucky you didn't hit your temple. Lucky you didn't hit your temple." I'm like, you know how many times I've heard that? But at the same token, it does resonate with me. Like, you're not guaranteed tomorrow. Like 3 inches to the left, I might not be here. And it makes you really start to, be thankful. Like I would wake up in the morning and think about lack. I think about all the freaking nonsense and problems and everything else instead of being just grateful, being like, you preach it, you coach it, and here I am like in the middle of it. Like, no, I gotta lead by example. I gotta start off with gratitude as well. I think that's just so simple to do, yet how many people struggle with doing it in the morning? So,
Or when you're going through the stuff, when you're going through the
hmm
stuff, sometimes it's hard to be great.
yeah. Amen. Well, we put all your stuff in the chat. All guys, go back to the channel over here. We're gonna leave Jay. Make sure we leave the show on for a little bit. We got her Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, her website for her book. It is on her website and her book on Amazon. If you want to reach out to Wendie, have a conversation with her, share with maybe a story that you have, appreciate what she shared with you. Maybe it triggered something. It's all about building relationships. You never know, guys. Put a five in the chat. Put a five in the chat. Put some hearts in the chat for those of you, for Wendie coming on here and sharing her message this morning. Wendie, thank you so much for being on here today.
Thank you, Brock, for inviting me. And I'm glad you're doing well with your injury.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so, so very much. Guys, I appreciate everybody being on here on this Friday. It is the last week of May, last day of the month. Doesn't seem possible, already getting into June. Thankful for you all being here on June 1st. You will hear from my transition and what I've been doing and growing through since February. My health coach, Kyle, will be on here. We're going to talk about my mindset, what I've been going through, talking about him and how he's been going through his business and how he's helping other people physically and mentally, where I was lacking in my amino acids, some peptides that I'm taking, but really just health and awareness to be able to, maybe there's something out there for you all that could help you grow and whatever that might be. So we got that on Monday. And just to give you a little brief, little drop in the bucket to let you know our special guest next Friday is my dad. He is a nervous wreck, but my dad is going to be coming on next Friday. He's actually going to come here because he doesn't know how to do Zoom. So my dad will be here next Friday. So you're not going to want to miss that one. Wendie, God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your family for joining us. Appreciate you all being on here. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Till Monday. See ya.